Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Sarah and that is our handsome boy Ozzy, or Ozymandias, but we call him Ozzy. Buddy. Buddy is all the cat's nicknames. To change the topic back to crochet, today I am working on this super fuzzy dragon right here. I'm so excited about this. It is so cute. I completely forgot to put the tail detail on before putting the limbs on. I just got overexcited this morning and started sewing. So now I'm going to figure out how it feels to crochet the tail detail after the limbs are sewn on. And I don't think it's going to be very fun because the tail detail, you have to move the thingy over and around, which means my yarn's going to get hooked on the legs. So it's just going to be a whole thing, but it'll totally be worth it. This is the body and 3 out of the 4 legs attached. And then the ears are right here, just some more of that fuzzy yarn. And then the wings are absolutely gorgeous. So what I did for these was I double stranded some skinny chenille right here. I get this yarn from Michael's, but I double stranded this yarn and used that for the inside of the wings. I just love the contrast. You'll be able to see it really clearly once it's sewn on. It won't just blend in. And then for the toes, I actually used this white velvet yarn. Adorable, or it's one of those names from Yarn Bee from Hobby Lobby, and I use that for the toes, but it's a little heavier than the fluffy yarn, so that's why I decided to switch to the skinny chenille for the wings. And then the horns will also be made out of the skinny chenille, and then I'll do the tail detail out of the skinny chenille. I'm really excited to see what that looks like once it's finished. This is Pipsqueak by Bernat. You brush it out and it's just so beautiful once it's brushed out, but if you don't brush it out, it kind of looks like a mess. I highly recommend brushing it out. I use this brush, which I don't use on cats. He just happens to be sitting on it because he's bad. But I use this to brush it out. Be careful about your safety eyes because I did scratch mine and I couldn't be bothered to take them out because I didn't have the eyes on me anymore when I was working on it. So just don't scratch your eyes. Put some tape over them or brush the head before you put the eyes in. And then the last thing is I did use about 1.5 skeins of the Bernat Pipsqueak for all of the body, which was interesting. I expected to use more and I was glad to have enough. But in other news, I actually found this yarn at my local Joann's. Now, the solid colors feel a lot thicker. I don't know if that's just me, but they're not quite as soft, which is weird. Just so you're aware, the solid colors are a little bit less soft. I got 3 gray, just 2 white, and then I got that green, gray, white ombre, which is really pretty. I was thinking a willow could be really cute in that too. That is what I'm currently working on right now. I know the lighting isn't very good right now, and I apologize for that. It's kind of later in the day, but I just wanted to start this clip because I know I'm going to finish this dragon tonight. I wanted to talk you through my process before finishing it completely. I think that is about it. I'll catch you in my next clip and we'll see what I'm working on then. Hopefully this will be finished and I'll be working on something new. After many hours, I finally finished this dragon. I am in love with this. I did the traditional tail just as the pattern calls for, but then I did these little shells. I don't know if it's showing up clearly on camera, but I did these adorable little shells on the back, and then obviously the traditional horns the pattern calls for, but she's so soft, so fluffy, so cute. I just love her. I'll definitely show you guys tomorrow in better lighting what she looks like because I think she deserves that. She's just gorgeous, so she needs some proper lighting. But right now I'm actually going to be working on my draft pattern. Now, if you see my older videos, you have seen the draft, and somebody left a comment and they asked me, what about the draft? And I have to say that I completely forgot I made that pattern. Tonight I'm going to work on the draft. I originally based it more on my cow head, so I'm going to try and do a little bit less cow-like head and more draft head, if that makes sense. I look up some reference photos of real drafts to get some ideas for how to do their horns, and then I think it definitely will need a little bit of a mane. That was one of the things I wanted to add to the original pattern when I designed it a while ago. So this morning I've decided I'm going to work on some market prep stuff. As you can see, I've got every color variegated yarn I own on my bed right now. I'm going to work on 9, at least 10, I think there's 10 actually, 8. I knew it was an even number, but I overcounted. Anyways, I'm going to make 8 snail shells with these, and then I'm going to make the body out of cream, so just like this one here. But I'm just going to go ahead and make all of the shells this morning. And then I also think I'm going to use this yarn here. It's to make some more monsters while I'm at it. These little guys are the only pattern that's actually out right now. The snail will hopefully be out by the time you see this video, but I'll put on the screen what the release date will be. That is what I'm gonna work on this morning. Monsters, snail shells. We'll see how far I get done. I also need to take pattern photos for the snail. I'll probably work on that while making the shells. That is the plan for this morning. Here is where I'm at with everything. So obviously it's nighttime at this point, as if you couldn't tell by the lighting. I have 11 monsters total. I'll probably be making more before my next event. Not right now, because I am burned a little out with the monsters. I might make one more just to make even number so I feel better about myself. And then the snails, by the time I finish all 8 of them, I'll have 10 total. Probably won't be necessary for me to make any more. And I picked out colors for the shells. So I decided, I was originally gonna do cream for the base for all of them, but they don't really go with them. So I decided to pick different colors out for all of them. And I'm gonna go ahead and work on that. So these ones are gonna get the light pink. This one's gonna get the yellow. I've got the orange here with the lighter orange. And then I decided to do this gray blue with this one here. And finally these two for blue and this one for the purple. So I'm gonna get started on that and we'll see how that goes. Last night right before bed, I kind of had a thought and I started thinking it through. I realized that I really need to get this willow pattern out, this snuggler version out, and I really have to do it now or it's gonna be too late for Christmas sales. And I know a lot of people were excited about this pattern, so I'd much rather, I need to give people enough time to purchase the pattern or use it to make gifts. I'm going to spend the next 2 days finalizing the willow snuggler version and getting a tester call out for it. This one will need about 2 weeks for a tester call, so that means it'll be released on the 2nd because I already have a pattern releasing on the 1st, and then the draft I will work on right after, and the draft I'll release maybe a little bit earlier depending on how quickly it takes me to get everything done. I will update you in a little bit. Here's where I'm at with Willow. I finished her head this morning and one of her legs. I got a little busy because I was preparing the Sitting Kitty pattern for release. So I actually ended up changing the color of this pattern to blue. It was originally orange, so if you've seen my previous videos, I think I've shown it off to you guys. So it is now blue. I just really like this image a lot, so I decided to change that out, but it's all up in my coffee shop ready to go. It's $6.50 for the whole pattern. It's 11 pages, a pretty decent pattern, and then the pattern release is officially out. All my testers did such a great job. I want you to show you them. So this is my first page and we'll just go through them. They all did such a great job. I love the calico. I love all the calicos. I love all the cats, technically. So this is my page of gray kitties because that's a pretty common one. You know, gray kitties are adorable, so makes sense. And then the final page is mostly orange. They just did an absolutely amazing job and I'm so grateful for them. I have a lot of notifications, but I'm just gonna ignore them for a little bit. Also, look at this photo I took of this dragon I made. I have been using this background and I just love the way it looks. That showed up on YouTube here too for those of you who don't hang out on Instagram. And then of course the tester call is out. This will actually be closed by the time you see this video, so just a warning. But the pattern release for the raccoon, it should be out on the 1st of December, so keep an eye out for that. That is the computer stuff I was doing this morning. I still have to email all of my testers with their official copy. Once I get that done, then I will be officially finished and off the hook with the kitty pattern. Make sure to check it out if you guys want to. It is a free tutorial on my YouTube channel, so if you're interested in that, it'll be linked in the description. I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the willows again and just get this yellow one as much as I can, get it done today. I'm gonna see how much I can do. It's a little stressful, but talking to you guys definitely helps get my thoughts in order, so we're all good. So it's been a bit. I finished the legs and the head and the ears for this, and right now I'm working on the body. I had to frog some of it because I totally messed up making this tail, and I also already wrote out the whole body pattern thinking I had it right, which means I'm gonna have to fix all the round counts. There's a lot of rounds in the body, so that's a little tedious, but obviously I'm glad I caught it. This is all of my frog stuff, but I do have more yellow yarn, so we'll see how long this lasts. I'm hoping that I can finish it with it, but I also still have the wing details to do, so that is the little update. I'm going to try and finish the body as best I can tonight. So far the photos have been looking pretty nice since I have my ring light right there. That's what I'm working on. Alright, it's update time. So today, earlier today, I finished my second giraffe and I gave it one extra single crochet round for the neck, which I think is perfect. It looks great. But then I'm still a little torn on the head. I think this one's face looks better. It's a little bit uneven with the nose, but for the most part, I just like the eye placement better on this one. So I think my final giraffe will be like a mix between these two, with the neck being the same length and then the eyes being in a slightly different place, slightly lower on the head. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my final pattern tomorrow, hopefully, and then get pattern photos. I feel the same way I felt about my raccoon pattern, where I'm not 100% in love, but I still think it's cute. The thing I'm struggling with is just the head at this point, trying to make it look more like a giraffe. When I looked up a baby giraffe, they do have these little fluffs on the top of their head, and then their ears are pretty close together. I don't know, it's such a small stitch count. I think maybe the ears are a tiny bit too big, and that's why I'm having a hard time. So I might adjust those and just see what smaller ears look like. But I'm gonna goof around with that tomorrow. Tonight I'm actually going to continue working on the yellow willow. So last night I finished the body here. I need to take photos of the body, so I'm actually going to set this aside until tomorrow. I think I might work on the tail tonight, because I can still get good photos with the ring light. I still think I'll be able to get away with photos for the full body, so I think I'll probably do that. I still have to make the horns, which I'll be making out of this cream yarn, and then the wings, which I'll make out of the pink yarn. And I think I'll actually start with the wings since they don't get sewn on until tomorrow. I'm going to work on that tonight, hopefully get all the pieces done, and then I want to wait until I have good lighting in the morning to take the photos, because I'm just taking it on this paper. And I want to do like full body photos against the wall, so I'll need some natural sunlight for that. Those are the two things I'm working on. If I can't work on the willow anymore tonight, then I'll probably get back to those snails, but I don't know if I'm gonna actually have time for that. So that is the update. I'm gonna work on those wings right now, and I think they're gonna be super cute. I'm gonna make the insides pink and then finish it off with the yellow, so I think I'll start there. Here's what the tail looks like on the finished body, and I had to adjust this tail from the original pattern, which means I had to rewrite it. And this is definitely the most complicated part of the pattern, so what I'm actually doing is making another tail, just starting one, and I'm gonna do this and work the pattern again and make sure it's correct. This part is just really long. That makes it complicated. So it's really hard just to keep everything straight. There's 42 rows on this thing, and I mean, it's completely worth it. I need to test it again and see if it works out. I redid the tail. As you can see, it's fully incomplete. I fixed the instructions, so they're correct now. I did do the original tail correctly. I did slip stitch one of the rows up here. a little further down than I should have. It's not too noticeable in the photos, so I'm just going to leave it that way. That just kind of shows how complicated this is. I think I finally got the count right, and I think it'll actually work. Honestly, this type of stuff hurts my hands because it's such a tight little squeeze. Honestly, it was better without all the weight attached to this one, but I got that settled and fixed. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut this, and I'll save it for later. I'll probably end up finishing it, and then I'm going to probably work on the wings for now. Kind of do something a little bit less complicated before bed. That is the tail detail finished, thankfully, and the stitch count is correct and everything, so yay! I was hoping to film my next Crochet Foundations video, which is on color changes, this morning. I don't think I'm going to have enough time to truly finish it. I am going to get started on it though, so for that video I'm going to be making a giant Cassidy the cow, and I decided that I'm going to be using this pink for the nose, this dark gray for the spots, and then white for the base, instead of doing like a traditional cow where it's black and then that bright pink for the nose. I'm trying to do a more like almost vintagey feel, but also I think this dark gray shows up a tiny bit better on camera than black. And also my other reason is that I already have a black and white cow made for my next market, so I don't really need two. I just don't really need two. I mean, I could have two, but I just don't think I need it. So instead of making a funky color either, I decided to just go with this kind of nice palette instead. So that's what I'm gonna work on this morning. I'm going to be showing how I change colors, how I do it when you go from one color and you cut the yarn and you go to the next color. I'm gonna show you a technique for how I do it for smooth edges, and then the other two techniques are just how to change color during the round. I think I'm gonna have to hunt down the Cassidy the cow I already have made so that I can show it off in the beginning clip of the video. But I'm not going to worry about that right this second because I have to actually get started on the head and get to the color working part so that I can show the two ways to color work. That's kind of what I'm thinking about right now, and I'm going to go ahead and get started on that, see how far it can get before I have to go run errands this afternoon. Good morning. I have a few updates for you this morning actually. So the first one is I'm going to finish this willow this morning, get the rest of the photos I need, and just put it together and be done. That way I can put the written pattern together very shortly. And then yesterday I actually worked on the snails and the monsters, so let me dump them out so you can see them. So here are all the snails. This one has a busted eye, which is so sad. It doesn't rattle. They're totally stuck. Everyone else is good. They all have fixed eye, or not fixed eyes. So I have 10 of these guys and then 12 of the monsters. And I am at least going to make one more snail for the tutorial. But I did take photos yesterday while I was working on them. Those are the snails and the monsters done. And then I have one more thing to show you. The last thing I'm working on is this cow here. So I actually started it to do the next episode of my Crochet Foundations, which was color changes. So I'm going to finish this cow, and then the fourth episode for the Crochet Foundations will be how to shape the face. So I'm going to use this guy as an example for that, and then probably one other type of plushie. Something with the eyes on the side of the head. That way I can do a little bit of both, front and side. That's what I'm working on now. I'm going to finish this guy. I decided to go with like a dark gray instead of a black, and I really love the way it's looking. That's the original, and then that one's the gray one. It's super cute. So I made this guy a little while ago, as I showed in not my last part but the part before that. I made these flowers for them. I wasn't truly in love because they're white and it's a lot of white, but what I did was I actually found some eyeshadow, and I'm kind of playing around with that. I've never done this before, but I put some green in there, and I mean, for the most part, it isn't coming off onto my finger. So I think this is actually going to work. So I got this. It's just the cheapest one I could get, and it's green. I'm not a makeup person, so I had no idea what I was looking for. This works, actually. It's really pretty. So this is the lighter green here in this corner here. I really want to try the glittery one, but I do think that one will actually come up and get stuck on your fingers, but I feel like it's not quite the right shade, but I still think it's pretty. Maybe I'll try mixing it with some of the gold and see if I can tone it down a little, because it's just a very bright green. But I'm gonna do it on the rest of the flowers and see what it looks like when it's done. I really do like it though. So here's the second flower I did, and I just put less green on it, and I think it looks better. So this is the original one, which is super green, and then this one is a little bit less, more toned down, and I think I like it more. So I'm gonna repeat that on all of them, and we'll just pretend like this one isn't looking the way it is. I might take some water and see if it comes off with a little bit of water, see if that maybe tones it down. It's kind of an interesting experiment. So yeah, I'm gonna do all the flowers, that way I've got a bunch of them to do, and then we'll see what they look like. It honestly doesn't take that long though. I'm taking this brush, which I'm certain is not the correct brush for this, but it might be, I don't know. I'm taking some of the glittery green and I'm putting it on the middle. So I just take it and I like swirl it around in the middle. And then I take some of the slightly more pigmented, whatever the word is, lighter green. And then I'm adding that in there as well. And that green matches pretty closely to the green that's already on this yarn. So that is how I'm doing it. And looks great. I think it's really cute. And it's an easy way to fix this without, you know, redoing the flowers or anything. I'll do that with the rest of them. And here are all the flowers finished. And I do think I like it. I'm at that point where, you know, you just did something and you have to put it aside for a little bit to decide if you truly like it or not. But I do think for this dragon specifically, I needed to do it because the flowers were so white. I did experiment on that one. As you can see, it's a different shade. So this is a lesson on testing off of your finished plushies first before attaching anything, or, you know, just making a test flower and testing it there first before committing to the finished plushie. I don't personally think anyone's going to notice it too much, so I'm just going to ignore it. But don't be like me and experiment first, not on your finished plushie. That actually worked out pretty well, and I touch it and it doesn't really come off, at least not really noticeably. And then I even used a wet paper towel and it doesn't come off. It is pretty much stuck on there and stained. If that's the thing you're going for, I say go ahead and do it. I have several things to update you on, and the first thing is I finished this willow this morning. I gave her one big beautiful flower, and I haven't decided if I'm gonna do the other side yet, but this is what it looks like for now. But she's fully put together and everything and ready to go. Tomorrow I'm gonna be working on the pattern officially, now that the pattern photos are all taken care of. And then I was working on this cow this morning as well. I have 2 feet left to finish and 1 ear to make, but then everything else is made. So all I have to do is sew it together. I'm going to use this, I think I already said this, but I'm going to use this cow as an example for the next episode of Crochet Foundations. And then the other thing I did was, I'm pretty certain I showed this one off to you guys, but this is the fuzzy willow. So this is the original willow pattern, and I made it out of burlap pipsqueak, I think it's the brand. And then I made a pink version. This is the same yarn color as this one, just a different secondary color. And I didn't really like it at first, but I do think it's growing on me. Now I want to go and get more of this yarn and make a blue version, a green version, and a yellow version, which I don't know if my hands can take it, but they're so cute and fuzzy and soft and pretty, and I just want to make more of them now. So I have 2 of those guys. I think if I do end up doing the online sales, this might be a good option to have up there, but I also think they'll sell well in person, so they're definitely worth the make. Oh, and the other thing I forgot to mention is I used 3 skeins of burlap pipsqueak for both of these. I used a 4mm hook, and the stitches are pretty tight, so there was a little bit left over of the main body color, and then I also double-stranded Skinny Chanel for the secondary details. That's the materials I used, and now I am going to work on a pattern test. It's kind of an unofficial pattern test. It's not a very big pattern, but I think it'll be really cute. So I'm gonna work on that tonight, and it shouldn't take longer than maybe half an hour. It doesn't seem like a very big pattern, so I'm excited to see what it looks like though. Last night I finished this cow, well, nearly finished. I need to film a tutorial for how to shape the face, which is what I'm gonna use this guy for. I'm actually going to do that right now. And I didn't really get too much done yesterday because I was editing a video that's going to come out today. So that's just kind of what I've been working on. The eyes are sunk in on this cow, and I just love this cow so much. The gray and the pink together, it's just like a little different, but different enough to be really pretty. And of course I included the udders, which I think this is the best job I've done sewing them on. I know this is my own pattern. It's kind of weird to say that, but it was just perfect from the start. So this pattern, I switched up my hook size. This I used a 5.5 and this I used a 5mm. You can see how much cleaner the stitches are. I mean, not to say that this one isn't very clean, but if you're looking to immediately improve your stitch definition, definitely shrink your hook size down a little bit. Now, don't go too crazy because you'll hurt your hands. If you can, I would. And you probably should shrink your hook size a little bit. That all depends on how loose your tension is. It might also help your hands not hurt as much to shrink your hook size down because you won't be holding the yarn so tight. But that all depends on what you're struggling with, whether you have tight tension or loose tension like I do. Loose tension, I think, just comes with practice as well. You just kind of get more comfortable with the crochet the hook and the stitches and everything. That is with the 5mm. She looks gorgeous. I'm so happy to have her done. Technically didn't need another cow, but it's too late. I already made one. This morning I want to, it's not even morning anymore. It's just very overcast today, so it feels like it's early morning, and it is definitely not. I am going to at least make one more raccoon out of the Feels Like Bliss yarn because I have to. I feel like it's a requirement. I gotta make some more capybaras, the little ones. I'm actually not even sure if I showed them to you yet, but I'm gonna make a few more of those for photos because I'm quickly testing someone's little pattern, just kind of having fun with it. So those are the things I'm working on. Right now I'm actually just gonna try and get a thumbnail put together for my most recent video. That's the only thing that I'm having a hard time with. I absolutely love the way I edited it. It's been so overcast, like I said, and I shouldn't have procrastinated. I should have taken photos when it was sunny, but oh well. I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna figure that out right now and then work on a new project. I haven't decided what yet, but we shall see. So this morning I filmed the snail tutorial. I think I have a total of 11 of them. Yeah, 11 of them. This guy still needs a mouth, but I'll do that later. So this morning I'm gonna work on getting that pattern put together because it comes out tomorrow. Pretty certain today is Saturday, so that means it comes out tomorrow, and I'm not ready at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some photos of these. I sincerely doubt the sun is gonna come out today again, but that's fine. I'll just go ahead and take photos with the ring light, which is decent enough. You know, you just gotta accept the fact that it is starting to get cold where I live, so the cloud cover is very serious here. I finished that tutorial. Like I said, I made this green one. They're all ready to go. I might make more of these in the future. Probably not very many though. Maybe just have to make an even number, but I haven't had a chance to test these at events, so I don't know exactly how well they'll sell. And price wise, I'm going to decide closer to my event, which my next event is in April. It's either gonna be 12 or 15. I'll just compare it to some of my other patterns I have on the table and see which one of these comes out as. Also gonna edit the video and see how long it actually took me to make one of these, because if it did take half an hour, I'll probably charge 15 and see how it goes. But the event I have is in spring, so spring summery, so I think that these bugs will probably do pretty well. I have a little update for the Willow Snuggler. The tester call is up now and it's going to be closed on the 20th, which means it will be closed by the time this video comes out, but I plan to do a 10-day tester period and then the pattern will be out. Plan is the 2nd, but we'll see. Not 100% settled yet, but hopefully it will be the 2nd. I'm not sure if I showed off the finished pink one. I'm pretty certain I did, but that's the finished pink and yellow one. And then of course I have the green one, which was first try, and the blue one, which was second try. And then I'm going to finish that pink one I have started soon-ish, at the very least for my next event. But the other thing I worked on was a couple pattern tests. So the first one I have is this mini capybara, which the pattern is not out yet. I'm not sure when release date is. If I know by the time this video comes out, it'll be on the screen for you guys. It's a super cute pattern by Sweet Beans Crochet. It's just super cute. It works up super fast. This pattern is perfect for my mini bin, and then you could also make it out of bigger yarn, and it'll be like a perfect $12 to $15 item at your table. No sew as well. I don't know why it won't focus close up, but as you can see, it's really cute. I was thinking of making a white one of these as well, and maybe some more in guinea pig colors, because I think that'd be cute. And then the other pattern test I did was for Prince Plushies, and it's her gingerbread kitty. I believe she named it Clove, which is super cute. I just decided to go with white, and then it's kind of a pale cookie. It's kind of a pale gingerbread. As you can see, it is super cute in the skinny Chanel. I do kind of wish I had a better brown in a larger Chanel yarn, because I think that would be so cute in a bigger yarn. But then the final pattern test I did was this pattern test, and I'll put the person's handle on the screen. Now I was able to test the chef pattern, so I got to do the chef's hat and the apron. I did add a tail to this pattern. I just couldn't help it. I had to tweak it a little. I think it's because of this bigger yarn that it's more noticeable that there's no tail. Feet are super cute and the colors are great. I played some yarn chicken with this light gray yarn and I won, so that's good. This is that pigeon. I'll put the release date on the screen as well if I can find it. It's not very far from now, which is nice. But I'm going to send the photos to the group chat later today, and that is the last thing that I tested. There were a couple things I wanted to apply for and I didn't end up doing. I might end up applying for them, but I don't want to get too stressed out because I'm working on my own patterns. I'm very, very happy and excited that I was picked for the pigeon though. I just love it. I just love it. It's super cute. And I'm a baker in my spare time, so you know, it totally works. That is the update. I'm trying to think of anything else I worked on, but I think this is pretty much it. I have that snail tutorial, which is late. Should have been out yesterday. I decided that it's really not that big of a deal if I wait a little bit on certain things, so that's what I am ending up doing. And I'm going to release that pattern tomorrow. That is the update. And I'm not quite sure what my next project will be, but we'll see. I might just finish this pink willow just to have something to do while I continue making up my mind. I'm going to show you something that I've been working on over the past day and a half, so don't be shocked when you see them all. I made some more axolotls. So I made a total of 10 of these guys in one evening sitting, and then maybe like 5 hours today, I think. I'm not gonna lie, yesterday I think I made 6 bodies, I want to say. I did all the fins today and the final 4 bodies as well. I actually spent a lot more than 5 hours now that I'm actually thinking about it, but we will pretend. I'm gonna live in my little fantasy land where I don't spend all day crocheting, but in fact I do. Anyways, these are my favorite axolotls I've ever made. I had 4 of these at my last event and they all sold to the same person. So I decided to make a bunch more of these guys. They're super cute. The eyes are some of the safest eyes that I have. You can't even get your fingers under them because these backs swallow the eyes. They're not technically the eye backs that came with these eyes. They seal in just fine. I think I ordered them separately a while ago, but I found a use for them. And as you can see, the eyes sink in. It's super cute. I have these 10 colors. This is made out of Skinny Chanel and Petite Pearl, and I just kind of combine them. Let me know which one's your favorite in the comments. I'd love to know. I am really torn on what colors is my favorite. I like the gray one because it's a little different. I just like the shade of gray, I think. But then I also like this cream and orange one. And then this one, I mean, I just love pink. So used to think I like purple, but I think I like pink a little more. So sorry to everyone who I told I like purple more. Actually, I don't mind like the warmer shades of purple. I think the cooler shades of purple is where I start not liking it so much. These are the axolotls. I just wanted to take a day to market prep some instead of work on patterns, so that's what I did. I might in the future make more of these, maybe 1 more of each, but I'm running low on the eyes. So I'll have to count the backs and see how many I have, because I think I have more of these eyes in this size. That's something I'll have to do later before fully deciding what to do next. Here are the 10 of them. I originally had this green one, this yellow one, the blue one, and then the pink one. So it's nice to have all these new colors, thanks to Petite Pearl coming out and with some pretty colors. I mean, technically I could have made this one before, but they're all super cute. But yeah, that's your update. I'm not sure what I'm going to do later. Just kind of work on some stuff, I guess. We'll see. You know, I'll update you. First thing, ignore the color of this blanket. It's horrible. I know. I agree. But I do have a couple of things to show you, and we're just going to ignore the color. So the first thing I have to show you is one, we went on a day trip today. It was a very long drive. And I made all of these, all except one, on this trip. They take about 4 minutes each. So you might be wondering, what is this? These are the tops of my possum head pattern. So these ones, some of them have ears, and then some of them aren't finished yet. I'll put a photo of what they look like on the screen. I have 47 of these made. I had 50, but I sold 3 at my last event, so I'm making 53 more for my next event. Now you might think that is overkill, and potentially I agree with you, but the event we're going to, possums were the most popular thing. I think I sold 40 of them, and I definitely could have sold more the first 2 days of the event. I'm gonna take that chance and spend a lot of time making some more of these, a total of 100. Now these ones I think are going to be slightly smaller than the ones I have in my bin, but it should be fine as long as I put them on the table at different times. And the other thing I want to show you is my little yarn haul. So I got some more crochet hooks to replace my other ones when they start to wear out, because these ones are nice and cheap. They're $2.99, or they're actually $1.99 each, if it'll focus. They're from Hobby Lobby, and they work out pretty nice. You have to break them in first, because some of them have a little, almost like a film on the outside of the metal. Once you wear them in, they work great. They're super inexpensive. The handle will wear off, and you can just replace them since they're not very expensive. And they're not super sharp, so they don't stab you. I've noticed that some crochet hooks tend to be really sharp on the point, but these ones, I just like them. They're inexpensive, they work nice. I got some of this yarn because I'm planning to make some more baby blankets for the next event as well. But this time I'm going to use 3 skeins instead of 2 and make an even bigger blanket and charge a little bit more and then people I think will feel like they're getting more for their money. That's the plan with that. I just bought 3 because the yarn wasn't on sale, and then in the future I'll likely buy more. This is also from Hobby Lobby. This is some of the softest yarn ever, and if you're looking for a size 4 Chanel with ombre or variegated colors, you should check this out. I think there's 8 to 10 colors, but it's the Baby Bee Soft and Snuggly. It works up really nice. It's equivalent to Skinny Chanel or Petite Pearl, but it's in variegated colors. So it's pretty fun. The other thing I got was this yarn here, which I have been seeing. This is the first time where I found some skeins that felt nice. I had someone recently ask me why I still use this yarn when there's other alternatives, because this yarn falls apart. But I had to say that I'm very particular about the yarn I pick out now. Before I didn't really know what I was doing, but now I'm very particular. So if your yarn is too stiff when you feel it, that means it's going to be really hard to work with. And then if, on the flip side, if it's incredibly soft, it'll likely fall apart really fast. This is a nice in-between because it's still really soft, but you can feel how it's a little heavier, I guess you could say. And when I take my fingers, it doesn't split apart, which is the big concern. But then I also got this purple here, which is actually the first time I've seen this yarn. And I think I might make some purple cats with this, or I don't know, I'll figure it out. And then I got this color as well, which is also the first time I've seen this color. I went to a different Michael's, so the yarn was different, but it actually matches this blanket color really well, which is kind of funny. I haven't decided what I'll do with this. There's only one skein, so not enough to make like a willow, but maybe another colorful cow or something would be cute with that. The last thing I have to mention is if you're curious how I contain the fluffy mess, what I actually do is cut the ends of my yarn while I'm working. So for example, I cut this white end and then I pop the top of it off before fastening off completely, and I throw it in this bag. Usually have the bag off to the side so it's really easy to just toss it in there. And then, as you can see, all the fluff I got from this today. And then you can use this for stuffing. But that is how I contain the fluffy mess. I'm going to work on these possums over time. I don't expect them to get them all done immediately. I'll probably procrastinate on that and hopefully finish it this year before the new year. But my next event is in April, so I'm not too worried. That is the update and the little yarn haul situation. I have a little update for you. I decided to make a list of all the things I want to make and then design some patterns around it. This is a penguin. Hopefully you can tell what it is. I think it's really cute, but the body needs to be bigger for the size of the head. The issue that I have with that is that it'll be bigger than most of my other patterns in this style. I try and keep them all about the same size, but I just don't think I'll be able to do that with this penguin. So I think what I'm actually going to do is make this like an in-between size between my extra large plushies and then my minier versions. I think that'll be really cute, and I'll be able to make the body a little bit bigger for the size of the head in it. Just think it'll be really cute. My favorite part are the feet. I don't know if you can see them very well in this lighting, but they're super cute. And I like the tail. I think there could have been more double crochets in the tail so that it ruffles a little better. Not technically first try, but this is the first finished try. So there's still quite a few things to be tweaked on that. Here's my reject pile over here where I was playing with the color work. The problem is I can only pull out this white yarn, a certain amount of times. So I just had to accept the fact that there will be casualties, which there obviously are. But it's fine. I also think what I'm going to do is make a standing up version of this. I really like this because it's like he's sliding. So I definitely want to make a successful pattern in this style. But then I also think maybe in the same pattern, I'll do like a pattern bundle where he's sitting down at about the same size. Obviously looking forward as well. So the color work would be this direction. I think that could be really cute and potentially a nice little bundle. The project I'm working on right now is a hat. This is some super chunky yarn, so we'll see how it turns out, but this is for my dad, and I'm going to see if I can finish it tonight. Hopefully I can. I mean, it's big yarn, big hook, so hopefully it won't take very long. We shall see, but that is what I'm working on right now. Sadly, it's time for me to close out this video and to start a new one, but I wanted to say a couple things before I fully let you go. One, I just had to show these axolotls off again because they bring me great joy. Out of all the things that I've made recently, every time I look at them, I just smile, and I'm so glad I made a bunch of them because I was feeling a little down, and every time I look at them, I just feel so much better. But I think I asked earlier, but if you have a favorite color, definitely let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. I think all of these colors are really pretty. Maybe you have one in particular that has caught your eye. Stay tuned for the next series because I'm going to be working specifically on Christmas patterns. So obviously this penguin needs a little bit of work. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to make it look better and then do some patterns. I'm not sure if I'm going to release too many of them, or I might go purchase some Christmas patterns and do like maybe like a rate the pattern video, if that makes sense. I don't have a Christmas event, but I expect they will still sell somewhat well at my next event, even though it's in April. I'm not too worried about making stuff like that for events. I'm definitely gonna be working on this penguin. I haven't decided on anything else. Maybe a moose, because I just love the way, I just love making, the temptation to say mooses is very strong and it's dumb, but I just thought I'd put that out there. On my list I also have some deer / reindeer, but I don't know if I'm gonna get to that. I think a deer would be really cute if we did like a spotted back and everything, like a baby deer. We shall see. I was also thinking of a squirrel or a fox. Those are kind of wintry animals, at least the fox is in my brain. We'll see. Maybe I can get a few more patterns pumped out before the end of the year. That would be really cool. I'm probably not going to be applying to any more tester calls at this point, just so that I have the ability to do all these patterns. Doing the tester calls along with my pattern releases was probably the worst plan I've ever had, but it was fun. And then I got nervous and a little stressed from trying to balance everything. In the future, I'll probably put a pause on the tester calls, and unless it's somebody I know and I really want to support them. I'm not going to say never, because you never know. I'm gonna limit it for sure. That is all I have to add for today's video. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I expect this video is a bit of a longer one, so thanks for sticking all the way. I love you all so much. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you later. Bye!